Now let's learn the making method of the decorations. The two styles of decorations are slightly different. The common decoration for both is the branch magpie. The unique part for the ginkgo style is the ginkgo leaf. The magnolia style features magnolia flowers and leaves. First, let's talk about the common decorations for both styles. Start by embroidering the branches on the main body. Use a water-soluble pen to draw the position of the branches on the octagon. Mark the branch positions. You can refer to the finished product for the exact positions. If you accidentally draw incorrectly, you can gently wipe it with a wet tissue, then redraw it. The sample position is random. Pay attention when actually embroidering. On the upper right of the blanket, there are two branches. These belong to the main trunk, and need to be embroidered thicker. The other parts are side branches. Embroider these normally. I'll first demonstrate the embroidery method for the branches. Take out the ribbon. Cut a length of about 1 meter. The sample length is random. In practice, you should iron the ends of the ribbon slightly, to prevent fraying. Once done, thread the ribbon through the sewing needle. Insert the needle from one end of the branch and draw through. Leave about 5 centimeters of ribbon at the back. Leave a space in between, then insert from above. Be mindful not to twist the ribbon. Adjust as you sew. Slightly tighten. After completing, exit from the left side of this segment, approximately in the middle position. When sewing, work on the wrong side, and weave in the reserved part together. Insert from above. Be mindful to keep the segments about the same. Then exit from the insertion point, above the first segment. Pay attention, all stitches should be on the left side of the segments you just embroidered. As you sew, weave in the reserved part together. Insert from above. Make sure the ribbon on the right side does not twist. Everyone just follows this method. To embroider the fine branches, always exit from the insertion point of the previously embroidered segment. Insert from above. There are no specific requirements for the interval distance, just ensure each segment's length is about the same. After completing, secure slightly from the back side. Cut off the excess parts. After cutting, you should also press the fastening point. To prevent fraying, use this ribbon to embroider the next branch. When the ribbon is not long enough, follow the previously demonstrated method to finish off the ribbon. Take a new ribbon and continue embroidering. The method is quite simple, so I will not repeat the demonstration. Next, I will demonstrate the embroidery technique for the main stem. For the upper part of the main stem, start from the inside and work outward, completing the embroidered lines. I have already finished this part in advance. After completing it, start from the edge and embroider inward for about half the length. It should stick closely to the previously embroidered segment. Once done, transition the ribbon to the edge position. Continue embroidering from the outside inward for about half the length. Similarly, it should stick closely to the previous segment. After completing this part, finish off the remaining yarn tails. I will not demonstrate this step. This completes the main stem at the top. Next, embroider the main stem, that will secure the magpie's position. Come out below the marked line. And insert from above. Draw through in the middle of this segment. Then insert from above again. Keep the segment length consistent. and come out from the adjacent position below. Insert in the middle position. And continue to draw through in the middle of this segment. Insert from above. Making sure the segments stick close together. Repeat this process to complete the main stem section. After finishing the main stem, use the previous method to embroider the branches. The technique is identical, so I will not repeat the demonstration. Once this side of the branches is completed, take another thread to embroider the branches on the other side. This is the embroidery method for the branches. Next, let's learn the crocheting method for the magpie. Let's take a look at the finished product. The magpie consists of the body, the head, the feathers, the wings, the tail, the eyes, and the claws. These parts are all connected. Among them, the body and the head are crocheted as one piece. Let's start with the crocheting method for the body. We begin with the foundation chain. Work back and forth along this row of starting chains. The new stitch technique used here is single crochet decrease. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. The method for the first row is quite simple. Start with a foundation chain. Insert the hook under the top loop of the chain and crochet a single crochet. I have already crocheted this part in advance. Remove the previous stitch marker. Move on to the second row. Make one chain as your turning chain. Turn the workpiece over. Crochet a single crochet increase into the edge stitch. Mark the first stitch. Continue down and crochet 3 more single crochets. That completes the second row. The following crochet method is relatively simple. Refer to the pattern. Continue crocheting until you reach the 14th row. I will not demonstrate this part here. Next, let me show you how to count rows. Place the starting tail of the yarn on the left side. You can see that the odd numbered rows have the right side texture of single crochets, which forms a series of V shapes. The even numbered rows have the wrong side texture. There is a thread running across the top. You can count the rows alternately from the right and wrong sides texture. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is how you count rows when crocheting back and forth. This is the method for counting rows. Now move on to the 15th row. Start decreasing stitches from this row. Make 1 chain as your turning chain. Turn the piece over. Start with 2 incomplete single crochets. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. 1 incomplete stitch is done. Next, work the second stitch in the adjacent position. Insert the hook. Pull through. The second incomplete stitch is done. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over and draw through in once. 1 single crochet decrease is done. Mark it. Continue working single crochets evenly. Work all the way to the left side, leaving 2 stitches. Work 1 single crochet decrease. Start with 2 incomplete single crochets. 1, 2. Yarn over and draw through all loops on the hook. The second decrease stitch is completed. Row 15 is now complete. Continue with row 16. This row also starts and ends with a decrease. Work them all the way. After completing, secure with a chain stitch. Stretch the loop. Leave about 50 centimeters of yarn tail and cut off. Pull tight. The yarn tails are relatively long, so you can wrap them up. The body is now complete. Next, crochet the head. Take out the corresponding yarn tail. The color scheme here is random. Place the reserved yarn tail on the right side. Insert the hook into the edge stitch. Make 1 chain stitch to start. Crochet 1 single crochet. Insert the hook into the insertion point of the turning chain. Mark it. Continue crocheting all the way to finish the remaining stitches. While crocheting, weave in the yarn tails together. Finally, crochet 1 decrease stitch. The first row is now completed. Next, move on to the second row. Make 1 chain stitch to start. Flip the piece over. Start with 1 decrease stitch. Then crochet 4 single crochets. After completing these, move on to the third row. Crochet 1 single crochet decrease. Followed by 1 single crochet. Then 1 decrease stitch. Next, at the insertion point of the last incomplete stitch, make 1 slip stitch. No need to pull tight. After completing this, crochet 3 chain stitches. 1, 2, 3. Crochet a slip stitch from the second to last chain. Insert the hook into the back loop of the chain to crochet. You can see the wrong side of the chain. In the middle, there is a horizontal bar. This is the back loop of the chain. Insert the hook into the back loop, and make a slip stitch. Similarly, no need to pull tight for the slip stitch. Crochet 1 more slip stitch in the adjacent chain. Row 3 is now completed. Finally, crochet row 4. Flip the piece over. At the edge where you need to decrease stitches, make a slip stitch. Transition the yarn tail through. Start with 1 chain. Crochet a decrease. 1 stitch remains. Make a slip stitch. After completing, crochet 1 chain to secure. Leave about 20 centimeters of yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Pull tight. Trim the excess yarn tail from the starting point. This completes the head. Next, in the middle position of the head, attach a bead as the eye. Separate the reserved yarn tail into strands. Divide it into 2 strands. Thread 1 strand through a finer sewing needle. Pick up the loop from the wrong side. Transition to the corresponding position. The yarn tail is on the right-hand side, which is the right side of the piece. After completing, bring the needle out. Thread it through the bead. Insert at an adjacent position. Then take the previous yarn tail and transition it to the corresponding position. Make a simple knot with 2 strands of yarn. Secure it tightly. The eye is now fixed in place. Next, start embroidering the feathers. First, use a water-soluble pen to mark the general area for the feathers on the body. Place the head below. Start from the first row of the head. At the 4th stitch position. And continue all the way to the 8th row, left side seam of the body. Fill this area with line segments. Cut a longer piece of thread. Thread it through the sewing needle. Fold the thread in half from the middle. Tie a knot at the bottom. Treat it as 2 strands of yarn. Start embroidering from the head position. Use long and short line segments to fill this part. Bring the needle out from the corresponding position in the first row. Pull out a portion of the thread. Insert from a distance above. Pass through the reserved yarn loop. Slightly tighten. Continue and bring the needle out from an adjacent position in the first row. Insert from above. Let the two line segments lie together. The segment lengths should be slightly staggered. Continue embroidering until you reach the edge. After completing this, finish the remaining part. There are no specific requirements for the embroidery method, just fill it in with the line segments. After completing, weave in the ends. Bring one strand out from an adjacent position. Tie the two strands with a simple knot. There's no need to cut off the excess. The feather is now embroidered. Next, let's learn the crocheting method for the wings. Let's take a look at the finished product. We will start from foundation chain. Crochet 2 rows. Break the yarn at the end of each row. The new stitch technique used is double crochet increase. Please watch as I demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with a foundation chain of 12 stitches. Place markers on the beginning and ending stitches. I have already prepared this part in advance. Make one chain as your turning chain. In the braid marked by the stitch marker, crochet 1 single crochet, insert the hook from above into the loop and crochet. Crochet 3 single crochets. Then, crochet 3 half double crochets. Followed by 4 double crochets. There is one chain remaining. Crochet 7 double crochets into it. Now we have reached the other side of the starting edge. Begin with 1 double crochet. Start crocheting from the second chain on the left side. That is the insertion point corresponding to the previous double crochet. Pick up 2 strands. While crocheting, make sure to weave in the starting yarn tail. You can see this double crochet. and the opposing double crochet are worked into the same hole. Next, pick up 2 strands from the adjacent chain, crochet 1/2 double crochet. Then, crochet 3 half double crochets. After completing, pick up 2 strands from the chain and crochet a slip stitch. Continue crocheting until you reach the marker on the left side. After completing, crochet 1 chain stitch to secure. Cut the yarn. Trim the excess starting yarn tail. The first row is now complete. Move on to the second row. Start from the first half double crochet of the previous row. Begin crocheting. Insert the hook. Draw through the knotted loop. Adjust the size of the loop. Insert into the adjacent stitch and crochet a slip stitch. Continue picking up stitches and crocheting slip stitches. Keep crocheting until you reach the first double crochet position. After completing, crochet 3 single crochets. Crochet 1/2 double crochet increase. Then crochet 1 double crochet increase. That means crocheting 2 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2. Then crochet 4 double crochet increases. After completing, crochet 1/2 double crochet increase. Then crochet 3 single crochets. Crochet 2 slip stitches. After completing, pick up 2 strands from the braid on the side and crochet 1 slip stitch. After completing, stretch the loop. Leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut off. Gently tighten. Tuck the yarn tail to the wrong side following the insertion point. Secure the remaining 2 yarn tails. The wing is now completed. Next, crochet the tail. There are a total of 3 sizes, large, medium, and small. The crocheting method is the same for all. Start with a foundation chain. Work back and forth. I'll explain the method using the small size as an example. First, make a foundation chain of 10 stitches. I've already prepared this part in advance. Start with 1 chain stitch. Work a single crochet into the back loop of second chain from the hook. Place a marker on the first single crochet. Continue working them all the way. The first row is now completed. This row is the right side of the piece. Next, work the second row. Start with 1 chain stitch. Flip the piece over. Work single crochets into the front loops only. 1 stitch corresponds to 1 stitch. Continue until they are all completed. The second row is now finished. Finally, work the third row. Start with one chain stitch. Flip the piece over again. Work single crochets into the back loops only of the stitches. Continue crocheting until there are 4 stitches left on the left side. After completing, work a slip stitch into the back loop only. Finish the remaining stitches. Then make one chain stitch to secure. Leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Pull tight. Secure the starting yarn tail. One tail is now completed. The other 2 are crocheted in the same way. I will not demonstrate them. Next, secure the different parts of the magpie onto the main body. Start with the body. Refer to the finished product for the exact placement. The position here is random. Place the body with the right side facing up. Lay it flat between the body and the main piece. Stuff in some leftover yarn tails for padding. Secure them with a stitch marker. Sew together using the reserved yarn tail. Thread the reserved yarn tail through a sewing needle. Start by securing the wrong side of the first row of the head to the main body. Insert the needle into the main piece. Exit at a slight distance. Then insert it back into the wrong side of the first row of the head. Pay attention while sewing to ensure the needle does not go through to the right side of the fabric. Slightly tighten. Continue by exiting from the main piece again. Pass through the first row of the head. After completing this, sew the side edge next. Thread through the bodice edge. Insert the needle into the main piece. Exit at a slight distance. Pass through the edge position. Sew slightly tighter. Continue sewing to complete it. When you encounter the starting chain yarn tail position, tuck the yarn tail inside the fabric piece. If you find the fabric piece is not firmly stuffed, you can add a bit more yarn tail for stuffing. After sewing, run the yarn tail along the wrong side. Separate the strands, tie a knot, and secure it. I won't demonstrate this part. This way, the body is secured. Next, attach the wings to the body. Thread the reserved yarn tail into the darning needle. Place the wings in the corresponding position on the body. There's no specific angle requirement. You can adjust freely according to your preference. Sew the parts that come into contact with each other. Bring the yarn tail from the wrong side over to the corresponding sewing position. Sew along the stitches. After sewing, secure the middle part again. When sewing, pay attention to picking up the surface loops. Hide the visible stitches inside. Finally, follow the previous method along the wrong side. Weave in the ends to secure them. The wings will then be secured. Finally, secure the tail. Start by securing the large tail. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle, with the right side facing out. Attach the large tail on the right side. Align the top with the first row of the body. First, secure the top position. After completing this, secure the middle part of the tail. Secure it to the fabric piece. Pick up the loops on the wrong side. Transition to the corresponding position. When securing, make sure the needle does not go through to the right side of the tail. Finally, secure the edge positions to the fabric piece. After completing this, weave in the ends. The large tail is now secured. Next, secure the medium-sized tail. The method for securing is the same. Overlap it with part of the large tail. Continue securing it. Finally, secure the small tail. The method for securing is the same. When actually securing, you can refer to the angle of the tails in the finished product. You can also adjust them freely. I won't demonstrate this part. This is the method for securing the tails. Lastly, secure the claws. Let's take a look at the finished product. Sew 2 short line segments on the bottom edge of the body to represent the claws. The method is relatively simple. Everyone can sew them on by themselves. I won't demonstrate this part. The magpie is now completed. That concludes includes the general crocheting and decoration methods. Next, I will explain the decorative elements of two different designs separately. Let's start with the Ginkgo design. The crocheting and securing of the Ginkgo leaves. For the Magnolia design, the crocheting method for the Magnolia flowers and leaves will be demonstrated later. If you are working on the Magnolia design, you can skip this part. Let's take a look at the finished product. There are 3 different sizes of Ginkgo leaves. The crocheting methods are similar. They all start with a foundation chain of 1 stitch. Then, you work back and forth in rows. Finally, crochet the edging around the outer edge. The new stitch technique used is the CH3 picket stitch. I'll explain the crocheting method using the smallest size as an example. First, start with a foundation chain of 1 stitch. After completing it, make 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Treat this as 1 double crochet stitch. Mark this stitch. Next, work 2 chain stitches for transition. In the starting braid, pick up 1 strand and work 1 double crochet stitch. The first row is now completed. Next, work the second row. Start with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Make a marker, flip the piece over. The turning chain corresponds to the stitch below. Work 4 double crochet stitches into the adjacent space. Work 1 double crochet stitch at the position of the next starting chain. Still picking up 2 strands. The second row is now completed. Refer to the chart to complete the third row. The third row is now completed. Next, work the fourth row. Start with 1 double crochet increase. Begin with 3 chain stitches as the turning chain. Make a marker. Flip the piece over. Work 1 double crochet stitch into the stitch corresponding to the turning chain. The first increase stitch is now completed. Refer to the chart and complete the remaining section. The fourth row is now completed. Finally, work the fifth round. Start with 1 chain stitch as the turning chain. Work 2 single crochets into the large space along the edge. Place a marker at the position of the first single crochet. Next, in the insertion point for this double crochet, work 1 single crochet. Work 2 single crochets into the space of the turning chain. In the stitch corresponding to the turning chain, work 1 single crochet. Work 2 single crochets into the space of the double crochet. Work 1 single crochet at the insertion point. Work 2 single crochets into the space along the edge of the first row. For the first row, for small and medium sizes, work 2 single crochets. For large size, work only 1 single crochet here. After completing, make 6 chain stitches. Starting from the second chain from the hook, pick up and work single crochets on the back loop. Work a total of 5 stitches. After completing, work all the way down the remaining edge. While working, weave in the starting tail of the yarn together. Now we are at the position of the last row. First, work one single crochet at the position of the turning chain. Then work a CH3 picot. Make 3 chain stitches. Work one single crochet in the adjacent position. You can see these 3 chain stitches, which form the picot due to the single crochets worked on either side. This forms a small pointed shape. This is the CH3 picot stitch. Work single crochets into each stitch, corresponding one by one. Between every 2 single crochets, work one CH3 picot stitch. Don't forget to work into this double crochet stitch at the end. After completing, join with a slip stitch at the stitch marker position. Pull tight. Leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Pull tight. One small ginkgo leaf is now crocheted. Following this method, crochet the leaves with different sizes and corresponding quantities. I will not repeat the demonstration. Next, attach the ginkgo leaves to their corresponding positions. Thread the reserved yarn tail into a darning needle. You can refer to the finished product for specific securing spots. Alternatively, you can adjust the placement according to your preference. First, use the reserved yarn tail. Secure the middle part first. Pick up a loop from the wrong side and transition to the corresponding position. Place the ginkgo leaf in its approximate fixed position. Then secure the sides slightly. Make sure to secure the leaf stem as well. Finally, weave in the ends. One ginkgo leaf is now secured. Follow this method for all leaves. When securing multiple leaves in the same position, secure one leaf first, then secure the next one. When actually securing them, pay attention. Overlapping parts of the leaves should also be secured. There are no specific requirements for the securing method. Just make sure they are fixed securely. I will not repeat the demonstration. This is the method for securing ginkgo leaves. That concludes the explanation for making this blanket. Finally, let's learn about the magnolia design. The crocheting method for magnolia flowers and leaves. Let's take a look at the finished product. There are 2 types of magnolia flowers. One type has 5 petals assembled together, 3 large petals, and 2 small petals. The other type has 3 large petals assembled together. They are all assembled in the same color. Several individual large petals are also distributed around. The leaves are secured at the branch positions. First, let's learn the crocheting method for the petals. The crocheting method for both large and small petals is the same. We will start with the foundation chain. Then, crochet in rounds along this starting row. After completing it, add another row of slip stitches at the starting point. There are actually 2 colors of petals. For the slip stitches in the middle, use the other color of petals to crochet. I will explain the crocheting method using the smaller petals as an example. First, make a foundation chain of 12 stitches. Place markers on the first and last stitches. I have already completed this part in advance. Next, crochet 6 single crochets. All of them should be worked into the top strand of the chain. Place a marker on the first stitch. Make 1 half double crochet. Then, make 2 double crochets. Follow with 1 half double crochet. Finally, make 1 single crochet. Now we've reached the first chain position. Crochet 3 single crochets into it. 1, 2, 3. After completing these, on the other side of the starting point, pick up 2 strands and crochet. The first stitch should start from the chain on the left side of the marker. While crocheting, weave in the starting yarn tail together. 1 single crochet, 1 half double crochet, 2 double crochets, 1 half double crochet, 5 single crochets, there is 1 chain left. Crochet 2 single crochets into it. Finally, finish with a slip stitch at the marker position. The slip stitch does not need to be tightened. Place a mark on it. The first round is now completed. Cut off the excess yarn tail from the starting chain. Move on to crochet the second round. Start with a slip stitch in the adjacent stitch. Follow the chart to complete them. Finally, at the marker position, make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. Break the yarn. Weave in the ends. The second round is now completed. Next, crochet a row of slip stitches at the starting point. Locate the position for the first half double crochet. Insert the hook into the stitch. Draw the yarn through. Here, the color choice is random. Insert the hook into the insertion point above where the previous single crochet was worked. Crochet a slip stitch. Continue to insert the hook into adjacent insertion points and crochet slip stitches. Keep crocheting to the insertion point of the first single crochet. After completing, stretch the loop. Leave about 5 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut off. From the last insertion point, tuck the yarn tail to the wrong side. Secure all the yarn tails. A small petal is now done. Repeat this process, refer to the pattern, and crochet the corresponding number of petals. I will not repeat the demonstration. Once all the petals are crocheted, assemble them. Let me demonstrate the assembly method for a 3-petal flower. Take out 1 petal. Hang the yarn tail on the left hand. Insert the hook into the position on the upper right. The specific insertion point is not fixed. Make 1 chain as your turning chain. Crochet 1 single crochet in the same position. Mark the stitch. Take out the 2nd petal. Here, the color choice is random. In practice, they are usually assembled with matching colors. Place it behind the 1st petal. Crochet 1 incomplete single crochet. Insert the hook into the upper left of the front piece. Then insert it into the upper right of the back piece. Draw the yarn through. The incomplete stitch is now done. Take out the 3rd petal. Place it in front of the 2nd petal. Crochet the 2nd incomplete single crochet. Insert the hook into the upper right of the front piece. Then insert it into the upper left of the back piece. Draw the yarn through. The 2nd incomplete stitch is now done. There are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, and draw through once. The single crochet decrease is completed. These 3 petals are also joined together. Crochet a single crochet into the upper left of the 3rd petal. After completing it, make 1 chain stitch as a transition. Flip the piece over. In the stitch marker position, make 1 slip stitch. Pull tight. The 1st round is now completed. Move on to the 2nd round. Crochet 4 single crochets. Start by working into each stitch in sequence. The last single crochet goes into the chain space. After completing it, finish with a slip stitch. Pull tight. Leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail. Cut the yarn. Secure the starting yarn tail. The 3-petal flower is now done. Next, I'll demonstrate the assembly method for a 5-petal flower. Take out a large petal. Start by crocheting 1 single crochet in the upper right. I've already crocheted this part in advance. Take out the 2nd large petal. Place it behind. Crochet 1 incomplete single crochet. Take out the 3rd large petal. Place it above the 2nd large petal. Crochet 1 incomplete single crochet. Yarn over and draw through all the loops once. The decrease is now completed. On the left side of the 3rd petal, crochet 1 single crochet. Take out a small petal with the wrong side facing you. Crochet 1 single crochet on the top right. Take out the 2nd small petal. Again, with the wrong side facing you, place it behind. Insert the hook into the left side of the front piece. Then insert it into the top right of the back piece. Crochet a single crochet. After completing, crochet 1 single crochet on the left side of the back piece. Then finish with a slip stitch. Tighten the yarn. The first round is completed. For the second round, pick up stitches corresponding to each stitch. Crochet single crochets evenly. Please complete them on your own. I will not demonstrate this part. After completing the second round, move on to the third round. Start with 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet decrease. Crochet 2 incomplete single crochets into the adjacent 2 stitches. Continue with 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet decrease. Finish with a slip stitch. Leave about 30 centimeters of yarn tail. Don't forget to secure the starting tail. The 5-petal flower is now assembled. Follow this method. Assemble the corresponding petals. I will not repeat the demonstration. Let's move on to learning the crochet method for the leaf. Here is the finished product. The leaf also starts with a foundation chain. It is crocheted in rounds. The method is relatively simple. Everyone can follow this by referring to the pattern. Crochet them to completion. I will skip the demonstration. Next, attach the flower to its corresponding position. You can refer to the finished product for the exact position, or you can adjust it freely. Cut a segment of thread about 60 centimeters long. The color of the thread should match the color of the petals. Here, the color choice is random. I will first demonstrate the method to secure a 5-petal flower. Place it in its corresponding position. Start by securing the inner side, the sides of 2 small petals. When securing, note that the petals are not laid flat. This creates a 3-dimensional space between the petals and the main piece. Pull the needle out from the corresponding position. Leave about 5 centimeters of thread at the back. Pass through the side of the petal. Insert into the adjacent stitch. Exit through the main piece. You don't need to secure the entire side. Secure up to about the middle position. When securing the other side, remember to adjust the angle of the petals. After completing the 2 sides, secure the adjacent positions of the 2 petals. Once done, transition the thread to the bottom. Secure the sides of the 2 outer large petals. The method is the same for all. After securing, fix the adjacent positions of the petals again. The method remains the same. When sewing, you can also secure the inner small petals at the same time. Then tie a knot with the previous yarn tail and weave in. I won't demonstrate this part. Finally, use the reserved yarn tail to sew the connection points of the petals. Then weave in the ends. This is the method to secure a 5-petal flower. The method for securing a 3-petal flower is the same as for a 5-petal flower. First, secure the left and right edges of the petals to the main body. Then secure the adjacent 2 petals. Secure the overlapping areas. The method is quite simple. After completing the flower, in the empty positions, take a new thread to secure a few large petals. There are no specific requirements for where to secure them. You can choose freely. The securing method is up to you. I will not repeat the demonstration. The method to secure the leaves is also quite simple. Use the reserved yarn tail. Secure the bottom of the leaf to the branch position. You can refer to the finished product for the positioning, or choose freely. After completing, weave in the yarn tails. This is the method to secure the magnolia decoration. Up to this point, the crocheting process for this blanket has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our website. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.